Hey guys, gals, how are y'all doing?
Good.
How
We're
exciting.
the little bit of rain, although the mountains are starting to peek out. We're hoping to get you a good view today.
Oh, awesome. So, Martha, I know we've met, but would you like to introduce Kelly?
Yes, this is Kelly Dellar. She is part of the Alaska Peony Cooperative. Her farm goes by Wasilla Lights Farm. She's one of our earliest harvesting members.
How
So
exciting.
this week is or today is our very first day shipping orders, and Kelly usually carries us through the first week or two all by herself until
Wow.
farms come on, and then followed by our late season farm.
Hi, everybody.
Wow, that's exciting. So, you get to carry this load on your shoulders for the first week of the season.
Yeah, I do. I'm getting a little desperate here, and so I thought, oh no, nobody else is coming on. Their flowers aren't coming on. I better pick a few more to make sure I can cover all the orders. So, but it's going good, and we got
That's
the orders
great.
covered. Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
Well, I'd love to learn a little bit about your farm if you don't mind. So, how long have
It kind of cut
you
out.
come through? Anyway,
It kind of cut out, but I think
yeah, that was on my
how,
end.
how long have we had our farm?
Yeah.
This is about our 6th year since we started putting in our farm, and so it's about our 4th year of harvesting
Wow.
this
Yeah, because
year.
you have to wait.
Yeah,
How many varieties do you grow?
I grow 7 varieties and just 4 are in production right now. I have 3 that are newer, so they're not in production. We're still waiting on those. Yeah,
Well, I always know that down here that you have to wait a certain number of years before you can start cutting on them. Is that
right.
any different up there with your shorter season or longer days?
No, it's the same. We wait till the 3rd year before we start harvesting, and for the first couple years we try to just pick off those buds and let the roots really give the roots time to mature and develop before we start working the plant very hard.
I know that's got to be painful to sit there and have to cut flowers off.
It is very, yeah. I actually fudged, and the 2nd year I left one to bloom so I
uh,
could enjoy it, and also so I could make sure that the plant was the flower I thought it was.
oh,
So
of course.
that was fun to be able to see those blooms that 2nd year.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be bad to think you bought one thing and then surprise you have something else. So
Right. It happens.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure. So where are
Yeah.
you located in Alaska?
I am in Wasilla, Alaska. We're
Okay.
about 40 miles north of Anchorage.
Okay. Okay. And how many plants do you have?
I
Or
have
roots?
about 700 or 750 plants. So I'm a small farm comparatively, but
Yeah.
that's plenty for me.
I understand. Sometimes do you do this all by yourself or do you bring help in or
No, I have help, and I have 2 sons,
yeah.
and one of them is really why I started this peony farm, and they're getting old, they're growing up.
No.
My oldest is 18 in his 2nd year of college, and my youngest is 16. So they still help, but it's getting more and more my farm, and I do hire some help too. So
Sure, sure. Well, I understand how that works. I know that my youngest is 18, and so they've all grown up helping me grow flowers and do some things too. So
yeah,
it's hard,
yeah,
but
it's
yeah,
wonderful. I think to work together with your kids, and
yeah.
it's been a fun experience, a fun time. So it's been
Well,
good.
good, good for you. So the four varieties that you're cutting right now, what are they?
They are Duchess, Golden Age, Sarah Bernhardt, and Pache.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got a couple white, you got a couple pink or blush to
Yep.
pink. So
Yep.
yeah,
Yep. White, pink, and a blush. Yep.
that's the most
Yep.
popular, I guess, out of
Yeah.
all the colors. Well, I'd love to see, kind of some of, what's going on. Let me ask this, how long do you end up cutting? Like, how long is your season?
My cutting started last Saturday, and it it's still going on because Sarah's are a little bit later, so I'm still harvesting Sarah's, but I think it's just a few now. So it was really Saturday to Saturday.
Mhm.
And my son just looked at my phone yesterday. He said, Mom, last week you averaged 14,000 steps a day.
Oh
So
my goodness.
it was a busy week, but it's slowing down now, and I'm enjoying the slower pace.
I bet. I would think so. Yeah, so can we I'd love to look around and see some of your flowers.
Okay, so I'm going to switch the view over to the flowers here.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. So there's my small little field here.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is the Pache blooming out. At the end after harvest, I let it bloom out so that we can enjoy some of the flowers. And then before they die, I pick them off because I don't want them to fall on the ground. So here's my Sarahs, and they are still quite a few in bud form. They're not blooming yet, so they're just a little bit slower. And then I have a couple newer varieties here. These are just a couple years old. I have Paul M. Wild here,
Mm-hmm. Which is
red.
that's like a hot pink, right?
It's a red.
Yeah, red. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes,
red.
yes.
Yeah. And then I have Henry Sass, which is a big white going on here. And those two are also late varieties. And then I have Golden Edge, which was the first that I cut last Saturday, first to harvest, followed super close by the Duchess.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how tall do you think they are?
They are probably,
So I know we talked before about how tall they are. I'm going to have Kelly go on one side.
yeah,
They're
these guys are really tall. They are on a raised bed, so they're lifted up here about, oh, 8 or 10 inches maybe. And they're tall. They're like 4 feet tall.
Wow.
Uh,
That's
well,
amazing.
oh,
And the
in the last,
size of the flowers.
yeah.
I don't know if you can hear me, Kelly.
oh yeah, yeah, we can
Yeah.
hear you. Of course, they're still in bud and
Right.
they're a little bit wet, but gosh, still that's a harvestable bud there, Kelly. She's like, nope,
I'm done. I met my quota.
she just wants to enjoy her flowers now and her gorgeous view.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So is her farm the one that we often see with the looks like Sarah's and the red barn and the mountains in the background?
Yeah, yeah, I have there's a mountain right there, but it's mostly in clouds this morning. It's called
Yeah.
Pioneer Peak. Pioneer Peak, I think it's like 7,000 foot. And it's a fun mountain to watch. It's very pretty. And then on the opposite side, I have a farm over there that was a dairy farm. It's been around since early 1940s. And so I have a couple big barns over there, which are fun to view
Yeah.
on the other side. Yeah.
Well, that's really amazing. I know that with with this many plants, roughly, and you may have said this and I missed it, but how many flowers do you end up harvesting off of this usually, like on average?
Yeah, I've harvested about 4,000, little over 4,000 the last couple years. And I could harvest more, probably like Martha said, there's some out here that are still harvestable. But after about a little over 4,000, I'm good to go. So I just kind of enjoy the rest out here. Yeah.
And so now you ship from this facility?
Yes, I ship from this facility. Yeah, each member of the co-op has their own pack house, their own cooler pack house, and so yeah, I ship right from here. And luckily, I'm about 5 minutes from FedEx, so I take a
Oh,
run there
wow.
every day for the next month. But it's really convenient to my farm here. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
yeah,
and I know Martha doesn't always live on her property. Do you always live on your property?
yeah. This has been my home for 23 years, and so
Wow,
yeah, I live here, right here on
that's
my
amazing.
property.
Are
Yeah.
you a native Alaskan?
No, my parents drugged me to Alaska from Washington State in 1977.
Wow.
right at the height of the oil boom here in Alaska, and I thought they were pretty crazy, but I guess I like it here because I haven't left. So
Wow, that's amazing. So
yeah,
did you grow up in Wasilla in that area, or were you more in town,
uh,
or were you somewhere else in the state?
yeah. When we came to Alaska in 1977, it was to the Kenai Peninsula, and so I was finished raised in Anchor Point down by Homer on the
Yeah.
southern end of the Kenai Peninsula, and that was a good place to be raised. But I've been up here in this area for quite a while now.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah,
absolutely.
that's about 6 hours from here where I was raised. 6 hours.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Alaska's so big. I don't think most of us can really comprehend how big
Yeah,
Alaska is,
yeah, it
or
is.
amazing.
Yeah,
That's great. So you're done cutting almost then for the season, and
right.
then you store and ship throughout this week.
Yeah,
And go ahead.
throughout July, I'll store and ship throughout July. Yeah.
Wow, that's
And I get
amazing.
to kind of kick back now while the rest of the cooperative starts their harvest and watch how they do. And I'm happy
Yeah.
mine's over.
You don't get bored and go help them or something like that?
Oh, I might. I don't ever get bored, but I might go help.
So, oh, I was gonna ask you something and I forgot. Um, oh gosh, I hate it when I do that. I can't think. Well, I was trying to think if your last variety is Pesher. Is that how you pronounce that?
My,
And
my last variety,
yeah.
well, it was an early variety.
Oh, it
So
is?
yeah, it's early. It's about an early. Yeah, it's about like Duchess, about the same as far as when I harvest them. So the Sarah is my late variety,
That's
which
right.
I'm
That's
still
right.
working on Sarah. Yeah,
That's right. That's right. Because you were just letting the Peshers bloom because you were done harvesting them. I remember
right.
that now. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's amazing. That's amazing.
yeah,
So, what new varieties have you planted?
yeah. So my new varieties are the Paul M. Wild, the red, and the Henry Sass, which is white. And I
Yes.
also have Coral Sunset, which is not new, but it didn't do good here in my location. So I planted 120. I'm down to about 40, and
Mm,
I've never harvested any for sale. I did harvest about 10 off of them this year, but I call them my freeloaders because they really haven't produced anything sellable here in my area. They
right,
do.
right, right.
They've done well in some other farms, but they're not a good variety for me right here. And I think it's probably because I get a lot of wind right here in my area. I have two glacier valleys right here. I'm on a hill, and we get lots of wind. And so in the winter, all our snow blows away, and I think the corals are a little more finicky. They just need a little better protection from the sun, or from the sun. I need protection from the sun. It just came out, but they need a little more protection from the elements in the winter. So that wind is just not a good location for them. But everything else is done well here, despite that wind that takes
Yeah.
our snow cover away.
Well, I know that's an earlier variety. We've had some people that want to see more flowers. Maybe, okay, do you have a good cell signal over near the Peshers that are opening up a little bit?
Yeah, let's go look at those.
I wonder if the corals being earlier, if they, like if they're just trying to do their thing when things are extra wet, or if the snow's still there, or but you think it's the wind that comes through?
Yeah, I think it's because of the winter they don't get the protection that they should get. If I babied them and put straw on them in the winter, I probably would have had a lot better luck. But
Yeah.
putting straw down and holding it down through the windstorms, and we could get 50 to 80-mile-an-hour windstorms
Oh
easily,
wow.
often, and it's just a lot of work. And I decided I'd rather not have coral sunsets if I had to baby them so much. So these are
No,
my
that's a good point.
petchers, and they're really just starting to bloom out. Let's see if we can. And then it rained, and so kind of chilly, and so they've kind of closed up a little bit from what they would be if it was sunny.
Can you put can you put your hand up next to one? I'm kind of curious how big they are. Okay. Yeah, that's going to get to be a good size.
Yeah, petchers are a little bit of a smaller variety. So
Uh-huh.
there's some other varieties that are quite bigger, but they're very beautiful and they have the most amazing scent.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites as for
Yeah,
blush. I mean, for that lighter pink tone.
yeah,
I just love the petal count on it.
yeah,
And, it's so funny. A lot of times when you get them forced, I don't notice the fragrance as much. So I'm curious how that is
yeah.
different. But I see all these flowers out here. I don't know how you stand from not picking them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. And your plants are so healthy. Can you maybe show us a side view of the plants where we can see from the ground up kind of?
So Petras are a little bit shorter varieties. So um, when I harvest, I harvest them on 18-inch stems versus a lot of other ones are like 21. So
The foliage looks so incredible on your plants. I mean, they
yeah,
look so healthy.
yeah,
Um,
they're doing really well. So I'm happy about that.
how do you fertilize them?
We use a lot of fishbone meal.
Okay.
Yeah, primarily fishbone meal. I think we're going to add some kelp this year, which will be the first time we've added kelp.
Now, do you spray that on after the blooming or do you just apply it to the ground?
Yeah,
Like that?
we apply it to the ground. And it's a little bit hard because we have this black plastic or black weed barrier down. It's a little bit hard to apply, but we just dig holes beside the plant and apply it in various holes. Yeah.
So, do you have the black fabric that goes around the entire plant, or do you just have a row that it meets up right beside it?
We have a black plastic that goes down the entire bed, and and then there's holes for the plants to go through.
I see.
Yeah, it's geotextile fabric. So it's really heavy duty. It's like what they use on roads, I guess. So it's very heavy
Really?
duty. Lasts several years.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's it called again? I got to write that down.
Geotextile fabric. I'll show you a view of it from a row that doesn't have so many plants growing
Okay.
so big. Uh, just a second here. Finding a row that doesn't have maybe quite as many weeds as other rows. So,
Oh my goodness. You're doing
so
great.
there we go. So yeah, it's a geotextile fabric, and we also have covered every other walkway with it. So we have grass growing in half the field in the walkways and that fabric in the other half. Um, yeah.
What's the benefit of having the grass in between?
Well, we put a big scoop of compost on each plant in the fall, and that's their winter protection because of all our snow blows away.
Okay.
And so it's kind of, we take it off. We take quite a bit of it off in the, we take quite a bit of that compost off in the spring. We leave some because it's good for the soil, but we can't leave all of it. And it's kind of handy just to be able to brush it off into the grass.
Oh,
So
okay.
one of the benefits, plus the grass looks pretty, I think.
Yeah.
Although you have to mow it and then you have to weed eat it, and that's quite a bit of work. And so that's why we decided just to do half the rows with the grass and half with the geotextile fabric. So yeah, that's
Sure.
what we
Sure.
did.
Well, if anybody watching has any questions, I'd love to hear some questions. Do not disturb is not working today for some reason.
Uh,
My calls are coming through, which you never have this problem before. But
uh,
anyway, I just was trying to touch, lost my train of thought there for a second. If anybody has questions, feel free to put them in the message section and let us know. I know that you guys started shipping today. And so now, do you ship orders like any kind of size, or do you pretty much ship, like the 50 pack or the 20 packs, or uh, if, for you,
yeah,
like, for those of you that are just joining us, this is Kelly at Wasilla Lights Farm,
right.
and she is in Alaska, in Wasilla, Alaska, and she is the very first of the peony growers to come into season as part of the Alaska Peony Cooperative. And so, anyway, it's been kind of interesting. We have this one question about the geotextile fabric. Is that the same thing as landscape fabric?
I
I was
think
wondering.
yeah, I think it's a little, it's more heavy duty than landscape fabric. It's actually something they use on road beds, and I don't know how they use it on road beds, but it's really sturdy. It's really heavy duty fabric, and it's stronger than landscape fabric. It's thicker and more durable,
Mm,
and so it is different. It is
mm.
a more heavy duty fabric, and it lasts. I've had this down here for about 6 years, and it's still lasting. So it's not something
Really?
to replace very often, which is beneficial.
Is it real expensive, do you feel?
Let's see. Gosh, it's been a
I
while
mean, you
since.
haven't done it in 6 years. You might not
Yeah.
remember.
I bought it. It seems like it was 10 feet wide, and a roll of it cost, I think it was close to $500, but it covered half my field.
Oh, wow.
So it's a pretty big roll. And I don't know how that compares to landscape fabric. It might, you think, I think it'd probably be more expensive than landscape fabric. I'm not sure though.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I understand. Let me
yeah.
check a couple more questions here. Someone's wanting to know, how cold do you get in the winter?
Well, where I am located, it's fairly mild, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's all relative.
if you go north of here about an hour, it's a lot more, a lot more severe. But here, um, it could get 30 below, but usually only for a couple days. Usually it's around 0, 10, 15, above, and 20 maybe, and then back down to -10 for a little bit. It's kind of in there. So as far as Alaska goes, I'm fairly mild right here.
Well, you got it easy.
Other than the wind, I got it. I live on the banana belt of Alaska here, except for the wind.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That's amazing. Well, there's another question here. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Oh, you just answered it about the cold. So that was great. Thank you for
Yeah.
asking that good question. And somebody's asking, when am I going to come visit? And, this would have been a great year if it hadn't been for a pandemic, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah. Kind of
um,
slowed things down a bit for us all.
yeah, absolutely. Um, okay. Somebody says gives us hope. Um,
Uh,
in Montana. So there you go. That's
well,
right. If they can grow them in Alaska, peony should be a piece of cake in Montana.
yeah, I think they
Uh,
do fine there.
yeah, that's funny. So my friend Scott says they also use that fabric for soil conservation, like
Ah,
where they feed cattle and things like that. So that
okay.
was interesting. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So it's always
And
fun to kind of to see these different things.
right.
So when do you have to kind of get everything ready for winter? What time of year do you do that?
We do that in about late September. And so
Mm-hmm.
we kind of, or maybe early October, but we wait for the frost to kill the green leaves. And at that time we cut all our peonies back, and remove the foliage. And then after that, we've been putting our fertilizer in the fall. So we have that to do, and then also then a big scoop of compost on top of each peony. So
Yeah,
that
like I
happens
said.
late September to maybe early October,
Mm.
depending on the weather.
Right, right, right. So now,
Yeah.
do you let it die down? And I'm just asking these questions because I'm sure some people might want to know. When you let the foliage die down to the ground, you remove it. Is that for disease purposes
Right.
or just okay?
Yeah, we let the plant be until the frost, because the green leaves, are feeding the roots and being useful until they're frosted. And then we cut them off and remove them to try to keep our field clean to prevent peony diseases.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I'm pretty lucky here because my next door neighbor does a lot of composting,
Mm-hmm.
and I do too, but I don't put my peonies in my compost because I don't want peonies diseases in my compost that I'm going to
Right.
then use on my peonies. But my neighbor takes all my peonies and puts them in their compost. And the first year they took them all, they said they didn't decompose very fast. They're kind of woody stems. And so the next year, which was last year, they took them and they run them through their wood chipper first and then put them in their compost. So, but the very first year we took them to the landfill, and I'm glad now to have someplace else to take them besides the landfill, that they're getting
Absolutely.
used in a compost.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. We had a question that I'm curious how you feel about this. Somebody was asking about the cooler temperatures of Alaska, and if you feel that impacts the color of the peonies, like makes the colors stronger or more vibrant.
Yeah, that's what I've always heard, but I haven't compared my peonies to other peonies like in the lower 48. So I've
Right.
always heard they're bigger with more bold colors, and I'm going to stick with that story.
They're just better, right?
It
They're just
sounds
better.
good. Yeah, they're better.
I love
But
that. I
flowers
love that.
do amazingly well in Alaska with all our sun and all our daylight. All flowers seem to do, or a lot of flowers seem to do just amazing here, other than just peonies. So flowers are fun for Alaska. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I know you just said something that made me think about it. And if people haven't heard Martha's episode yet, how long are your days there right now?
Our days, I think the sun dips below the horizon about maybe 5 hours a day. It never gets dark. It's kind of like dusk in the middle of the night. The sun just barely dips down and comes back up. So
Wow.
there's a lot. It's always pretty daylight right now.
Yeah.
We just passed the longest day of the year was like last week, I think. So we're slowly losing daylight now, but it's pretty
It's all
slow.
downhill.
It's all down here from here.
Yeah, well, is Martha nearby?
Yeah, she
Hi,
is.
Martha. I was just curious if there's anything you thought you'd like to add or anything that maybe I haven't asked that I should have asked or something you'd like to
I
say.
was curious if your viewers wanted to see inside Kelly's little cooler and see what
Well,
she's harvesting.
sure.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then I guess if there's any other questions after that, we'll pop back into there in the questions. And then I just wanted to thank all of the Flower Podcast listeners and followers and Scott, and remind you all that we love to support you all. And so we're having the discount code, the Flower Podcast, on our website.
Yay.
You
Thank
can use
you.
it to get 20% off of your orders. So check out our website and see if you can make some peonies over to a loved one or to
Yeah.
your home table.
Yeah, absolutely. They make a great gift or they can be used. I mean, I was so excited over the past week to start seeing weddings on people's feeds. They may be small gatherings, but nevertheless, they're weddings.
Yeah.
And I think some of this warmer weather we've had, a lot of the lower 48, the peony crops are already they're like, I don't know, somebody yesterday I saw, and their peony crop was like 3 weeks early.
Wow.
Which, of course, is what you guys had last year, right? You guys had that
Yeah.
heat wave last year that was crazy.
It was crazy and it was hot, and so the harvest was fast. You asked about how long the harvest is, and it can depend on the weather. I was talking to a neighbor peony farm. She said her longest harvest was 18 days, but I haven't gone past 10 days of harvest yet. So
Wow,
yeah,
that's
some low
amazing.
waters, so I think it'll still be okay. Okay,
So how
so
big is your property?
we just have 3 acres here. But you can put a lot of peonies on 3 acres. We actually just farm about a third of an acre with
Wow.
peonies. I also have dairy goats, so they're on some of our property too. So this is my little pack house and cooler building
Yeah.
that we're gonna go in. And I
So
just
people are asking about your Instagram account, and it is it Wasilla Lights Farm?
my Instagram account. I don't have one currently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I might have one again in a while, but my young son and I got together and decided neither one of us would have one for a little while. So anyway, that's another story. But the co-op has one. And so what's the
Yes,
co-op?
that's the best one to follow is the Alaska
Yeah, it
Peony
is.
Cooperative.
Right,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, yeah. So, okay, we're back here here's some blooming peonies. So this is a picture right there. blooming,
Wow.
and a Duchess. Yeah. Okay, so my
Beautiful.
cooler is here, and I
Wow. Look at all
haven't.
those flowers.
Yeah, it's a little bit noisy in here with my cooling system, but
Okay.
there we go. All harvested, yay!
That's amazing.
Yeah. So
So
those are
how many
Sarah's
Sarahs do you,
there.
yeah. How many Sarahs do you
Duchess.
think you'll end up harvesting more?
I think it'll just be a few more.
Okay.
Petrus, Pache, and BDN. Um, let's see how many I've harvested. I have a little, this is how I keep record of my harvest here. So Sarah's, I'll have about 600 Sarahs probably harvested.
Wow.
It's not totaled on there right now yet.
Yeah, yeah. So somebody's asking if you ship to Tennessee, and I think the cooperative ships to every state in the
Yeah,
union pretty much, doesn't it?
right. Yeah, every state, every state. Yep, we do.
Great. And is it next day via FedEx, or does it take longer because you're all the way up in Alaska?
It's next day. Yeah.
That's
Yep.
great. Well, what's the smallest box you guys ship?
20. Usually it's a box of 20 is the
A
smallest.
20 pack.
Yeah.
Wow. So, I mean, that's great for any reason. I mean, if all you needed it was for one wedding, like for a bridal
Yeah.
party or for centerpieces, I mean, that's a great size. Or if you wanted to send a gift to somebody, again, that's a great size. So,
Right. It
yeah,
is.
that's incredible. Well, that's awesome. Well, I really appreciate. Let me make sure there's no more questions. I think we got everything. Um, yeah. So again, if you want to follow the cooperative, you can go to Alaska Peony Cooperative on Instagram. You guys are on Facebook too, I do believe, and on
Right.
Twitter, and I think Pinterest maybe. I think that's all the places.
Yeah.
And I would encourage everyone to follow them there because their season goes well into like the middle of August usually,
Yeah.
give or take the weather
Yeah.
and the production. And
Yeah.
so we don't want to overcommit by saying the end of August, but we don't want to. But it's definitely well into August.
Yeah. I
And
think our last shipment right now is August 18th.
yeah, August 18th. Okay, so someone just asked a question about peonies in August. So, yeah, so if you're wondering about that, definitely you can count on Alaska Peonies till about middle, second week shipping of August, maybe third week. It just depends on Mother Nature
It does.
and on the
He's in
weather.
control.
That's right, and she likes to let us know that, doesn't she?
Right. He does.
Well, Kelly, it has been such a pleasure. And I want to, before you go, I just want to let everyone know that we are going to be with another farm. And I'm not even sure which farm it is yet. I don't know if you know, but we're going to be with another farm this Wednesday at 1 o'clock. So if you want to see more Alaska peonies, join me on Instagram Wednesday, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's 9 o'clock Alaska time. And we're just excited to be along for the ride and get to see all these amazing flowers you guys are producing.
Yeah.
And can't wait. So
Thank you. Yeah.
you're
It's
so
fun.
welcome. And if Martha's there, let me say thank you to Martha. Martha is such she's so organized, and she's such she keeps me on my toes, and I appreciate that. And she's got it going on. When do your peonies start, Martha?
I cut 4 yesterday. It was cold and rainy. So just 4, that's usually how it starts. You get 4 and then 20 and then 500 and 2,000. And yeah, it doesn't stop. So we're heading back up to the farm here pretty soon and hoping for a good day. The Bouldenez are showing some color yesterday. Everything else is pretty much a solid green ball. So maybe another few days, but it's supposed to be nice this weekend over 4th of July holiday, American Flowers Week.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to spending some time with my flowers.
There you go. Well, I can't think of a better way to celebrate American Flowers Week than to buy some peonies from Alaska Peony Cooperative and enjoy them this weekend. I know that you can do some shopping on the website, and everybody go. The website is just alaskapeonycooperative.com, I believe.
Yep.
And I know that we've put the links on the post I did this morning on Instagram. You can go to our bio. Of course, you can go to your bio on your Instagram account, and we can definitely enjoy some peonies. So it's so great. Where are we going to be on Wednesday? I don't think I saw that.
Me?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Sorry, my phone paused because one of our co-op members tried calling us.
Okay, I've been there already twice today. So I was just curious, what farm are we going to be on Wednesday?
We're hoping to go to Champion Peonies. They should be harvesting with this nice weather coming up. They should be harvesting. They have a gorgeous view, 40 acres of hay, pretty mountains, red tractors. It's a dream come true. So I'd really like to take this trip to Champion Peonies.
I can't wait. That sounds like so much fun. So great. Well, thank you, Martha and Kelly, for making this happen. I so appreciate it. I'm glad that it was a little overcast, so nobody was out there baking. And it was just a great treat to see your farm, Kelly. And thank you for sharing it with myself and all of our listeners.
You're welcome.
Y'all have a good day. You're welcome. Bye-bye.